Tonight, the first major snowfall hits the Northeast, more than a foot in some areas. The NBA and NHL, the latest pro leagues, warning players to protect themselves from break-ins. And news breaking as we come on in the West, President-elect Trump revealing another top cabinet nominee. First major storms on both coasts, just as millions prepare to travel for the Thanksgiving holiday. The Northeast hit with heavy snow, rain, and wind. A 50-mile stretch of I-84 shut down from Scranton, Pennsylvania to the New York border. The dangerous atmospheric river bringing flash floods and landslides to California. Homes surrounded by water, cars submerged. Our weather team tracking it all and what could be a stormy holiday week ahead. Also, the breaking news coming in, President-elect Donald Trump making his pick for Treasury Secretary. It comes 24 hours after he named former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi as the new Attorney General nominee, following the withdrawal of Matt Gaetz. Bondi, a Trump loyalist, defending him during his first impeachment, playing a role in trying to overturn the 2020 election. And here in New York, what a judge ordered about the sentencing in President-elect Trump's hush money case. Tonight, E. coli cases expanding across the U.S. Back-to-back outbreaks linked to organic carrots, and now 167,000 pounds of ground beef. And new reports that an infant's death is being blamed on a Listeria outbreak linked to meat and poultry products. First, the NFL, now the NBA and NHL are urging players to protect themselves from break-ins. Authorities warning thieves may be part of a sophisticated operation using high-tech equipment, including drones and jamming devices, to scout their homes. For the first time, the Texas Board of Education approving a Bible-based curriculum for public elementary schools. The new rule allowing teachers to teach Bible lessons to millions of students. Critics warn the curriculum infringes on students' religious freedoms. Diddy Combs back in court fighting for a fourth time to be released on bail in a sex trafficking case when a decision could be coming. A new human case of bird flu now being reported, the first confirmed case in an American child. And America Strong tonight, the postal worker to the rescue. What happened while he was making the rounds and the family saving him a seat at the table for Thanksgiving.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. It's great to have you with us on this Friday night. I'm Whit Johnson in for David. We have breaking news tonight on the Trump transition as the president-elect fleshes out his team. But we begin with major rain and snow on both coasts. Millions preparing to travel for the Thanksgiving holiday are facing the chance of a stormy week ahead. Tonight, the first major snowfall of the season in the Northeast, a downed tree making a traffic mess on Route 307 in Lackawanna County, Pennsylvania. Dangerous conditions shutting down a 50-mile stretch of Interstate 84 from outside Scranton, Pennsylvania to New York. Drivers pushing cars out of deep snow on the side of the road. And in the west, that atmospheric river dumping more than 17 inches of rain on Northern California, a mudslide burying an SUV in Sonoma County. Northeast of there, in Chico, California, first responders rescuing 2 people and a dog. Meteorologist Lee Goldberg with the forecast in a moment, but we begin with ABC's Stephanie Ramos in High Point, New Jersey, where they've already seen 20 inches of snow.
Tonight, weather whiplash for the Northeast after months of drought. Neighborhoods slammed with heavy, wet snow.
Wildfires to now snow and ice. What do you think about all this?
It's been crazy.
In the Scranton, Pennsylvania area, conditions so slick, even plow trucks got stuck. The driver of this plow says he tried to go around another vehicle and got stuck on the shoulder.
I mean, I love the snow. This is kind of fun, but it's not fun when you get stuck.
Authorities in Pennsylvania shutting down a 50-mile stretch of Interstate 84 from outside Scranton to the New York border for a time. Overnight, crews all over the region racing to clear roads, cutting up branches, and dodging live power lines. More than 100,000 in the dark. Meanwhile, that atmospheric river still soaking the west. Overnight, first responders rescuing 2 people and a dog in Chico, California. Flash flood warnings in San Francisco. Our Melissa Adan in Sonoma County, California.
In Sonoma County, we keep seeing the effects of this rainfall. These vineyards here, they're drenched, and so much of the rivers and creeks are now flooding. The biggest concern, you see this here, that's a bridge totally taken by the water. That sign more than 5 feet under.
The mudslide danger growing by the hour. This one swallowing an SUV. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Crews doing what they can to shore up hillsides, hoping they hold.
Here in New Jersey, some areas with higher elevations like High Point State Park got up to 20 inches of snow, a real taste of winter. The real concern now, though, as this storm system slowly winds down, are the higher winds, gusting nearly 40 miles an hour.
Oh, you can see that snow still coming down. Stephanie, thank you. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Lee Goldberg from our New York station WABC. And Lee, we see the snow, the rain on both coasts, and Thanksgiving week could be a mess in some places.
Indeed, Whit. November was late to the party, but it's back in a big way. Here in New York, we've gone from record warmth to severe drought and then brush fires, and now we've gotten record rains and big inland snows. The storm is still circulating rain and snow across the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. It'll be pulling out over the next 12 to 24 hours, but we've seen up to 20 inches of snow in the Poconos and Catskills, even into northwest New Jersey. There are still blizzard warnings out for parts of West Virginia. That'll end into tomorrow. It'll all be replaced by big winds. Out west, the atmospheric river, it's in the home stretch, but there's still some heavy rain, up to a half foot of rainfall into tomorrow. Then things will ease. There are still multiple rounds of rain and lighter snow into early next week. There will be delays early in the week. That storm goes across the middle of the country from the Rockies to the Ohio Valley. By late week along the I-95 corridor, we could be dealing with another storm around Thanksgiving. Whit?
We'll be tracking it all in the days ahead. Lee Goldberg, thank you. Now to President-elect Donald Trump announcing a new Attorney General nominee just hours after former Congressman Matt Gaetz withdrew. Trump choosing former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi, a longtime Trump supporter who also spent time on his personal legal team. And tonight, breaking news on another major cabinet pick. ABC's senior White House correspondent Selina Wang is in West Palm Beach, Florida tonight.
Tonight, sources tell us Team Trump is confident the president-elect's second pick for Attorney General won't suffer the same fate as his first. Former Congressman Matt Gaetz, who only lasted 8 days before he had to withdraw from contention.
America's for Trump, and so am I.
The new nominee, former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi, considered a much stronger contender for Senate confirmation.
President Trump has been out there fighting for us non-stop. And if he's out there fighting for us, we're going to fight for him.
Gaetz, who antagonized many of his fellow Republicans for years, saw his nomination go down in flames amid allegations he used drugs and paid women for sex. Gaetz has denied any wrongdoing, but today acknowledged Bondi doesn't have his baggage.
I had a full-time job explaining to senators that maybe a tweet I sent about them was rash and not reflective of how I would serve as Attorney General. Pam Bondi's confirmation won't have some of the sharp edges that mine would have. It won't take the same long process.
What Bondi does have is the trust of Donald Trump. She defended him in his first impeachment trial.
They threw due process, fundamental fairness, and our Constitution out the window.
And was a key force in his effort to overturn the 2020 election, pushing lies about the vote.
We do have evidence of cheating. We are still on the ground in Pennsylvania. I'm here right now, and we are not going anywhere until they declare that we won Pennsylvania.
As Florida's Attorney General, she also passed on a case against Trump University shortly after receiving a donation from the Trump Foundation. More recently, she's worked as a lobbyist and registered foreign agent with past clients, including the government of Qatar.
Thank you, Pam. What a good job she does.
For Trump, the Attorney General job is the one he cares the most about. In a statement announcing Bondi's nomination, he said, "For too long, the partisan Department of Justice has been weaponized against me and other Republicans. Not anymore." Bondi's made it clear in her many TV appearances that she understands her marching orders.
The investigators will be investigated because the deep state, last term for President Trump, they were hiding in the shadows. But now they have a spotlight on them, and they can all be investigated, and the House needs to be cleaned out.
With Bondi's selection, Trump has now nominated 4 of his personal lawyers for the top spots at the Department of Justice.
Selina Wang back with us now from West Palm Beach. And Selina, we have more breaking news tonight on the transition. The president-elect making his choice for Treasury Secretary.
That's right, Whit. Donald Trump has offered the position of Treasury Secretary to hedge fund manager Scott Bessent. We're told by sources that Bessent had been spending a lot of time meeting with Donald Trump in Mar-a-Lago in recent days. The process to find this role has been drawn out, I'm told, because of infighting over the position. Bessent is seen by Wall Street investors as a credible choice. Whit.
All right, Selina, thank you. Also tonight, President-elect Trump will not be sentenced next Tuesday as scheduled on his conviction in the New York hush money case. Judge Juan Merchan formally adjourned sentencing, asking both sides to expand on their arguments over the next 2 weeks. Trump's lawyers argue the conviction should be thrown out to ensure a smooth transition. Prosecutors say they are willing to delay sentencing until Trump leaves office to respect the jury verdict. Judge Merchan will have the final say. We turn now to the number of E. coli cases expanding across the U.S. Back-to-back outbreaks, one linked to organic carrots, and now 167,000 pounds of ground beef. Also tonight, reports that an infant's death is being linked to a Listeria outbreak from meat and poultry products. Here's ABC's Alex Perez.
Tonight, with millions hitting supermarkets ahead of Thanksgiving, Americans are tracking a growing list of food recalls across the country.
One of the things that I think is driving this increased detection of outbreaks is we've got better public health.
The latest recall involving 167,000 pounds of ground beef, fresh and frozen, possibly contaminated with E. coli. The meat shipped to restaurants around the country from the Detroit-based Wolverine Packing Company. Health officials say at least 15 patients who ate at various restaurants have been sickened in Minnesota, including 2 who were hospitalized. And today, authorities expanding that E. coli recall of bagged carrots from Grimway Farms after 1 person died and at least 15 were hospitalized, including Melinda Pratt.
I thought possibly I just had a horrible stomach flu, and it just progressively got worse each and every day.
It comes just weeks after a deadly E. coli outbreak linked to slivered onions at some McDonald's. And tonight, we're just learning about a new Listeria outbreak linked to ready-to-eat meat products from Yusheng Foods. An infant from California has died, and 9 people have been hospitalized in 4 states. And Whit, tonight we're told those meat products were shipped to retailers around the country. The company has issued a nationwide recall. Whit.
Alex Perez for us. Thank you. Next tonight, the NBA and NHL are now joining the NFL in urging players to upgrade their security after a string of robberies targeting the homes of professional athletes. Investigators say a transnational crime ring with high-tech equipment is behind it, and they warn the crooks aren't only targeting star athletes. Here's ABC's senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky.
Tonight, the NBA and NHL are joining the NFL in warning players that sophisticated South American crime rings are targeting their homes for burglary and urging them to upgrade their security systems. Mike Conley of the Minnesota Timberwolves was at a Vikings game, hyping up the crowd when his home was robbed.
Bobby on the block.
And Bobby Portis of the Milwaukee Bucks was on the court.
But while I was at my game yesterday, I had a home invasion, and they took most of my prized possessions.
An NBA memo says the FBI suspects the crime groups are using advanced techniques and technologies, including pre-surveillance, drones, and signal jamming devices that could disrupt an alarm system. The thieves have also targeted the homes of Chiefs stars Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and other luxury homeowners in several states, focused on stealing cash, jewelry, handbags, and watches. A source tells ABC News authorities recovered one of Kelce's stolen watches in Rhode Island. The NBA is urging players tonight, Whit, to remove real estate listings from the internet and update their alarm systems. Although, Whit, the FBI believes most of the burglaries occurred at homes that have alarm systems. They just weren't activated at the time. Whit.
Important reminders. Aaron Katursky, thank you. Next tonight, the Texas School Board has approved a new elementary school curriculum that injects material from the Bible into lessons on reading and language arts. And it's just the latest in a series of similar moves in Republican-led states. ABC's Mireya Villarreal is in Texas tonight.
Tonight, in a first-of-its-kind decision, the Texas Board of Education approving a controversial new curriculum that allows Bible teachings in public elementary schools.
8 yes, 7 no.
8-7, the motion passes.
The curriculum set to roll out next August includes both biblical and Christian stories in reading and language arts textbooks for 2.3 million students in kindergarten to 5th grade. While schools can opt out, those that adopt the new lesson plans stand to receive at least $40 per student in state funding. Tonight, critics say the curriculum undermines students' religious freedom.
We trust our families and our religious institutions to handle religious instruction, and that protects everyone's religious freedoms.
And they say it's part of a Republican-led push for Christianity in public education across the country. Oklahoma's state superintendent has ordered teachers in grades 5 through 12 to include the Bible in classroom instruction. And in Louisiana, the 10 Commandments must be displayed in every classroom. Both are now facing legal fights.
Some religious groups might see this as an opportunity to push these kinds of initiatives, given the conservative makeup of the Supreme Court. Now, school district leaders across Texas are already fielding phone calls from parents. They tell me, though, this is a wait-and-see moment that will likely end up in the courtroom before it ends up in the classroom. Whit.
All right, Mireya, thank you. Overseas now to the war in Ukraine. Tonight, Russia is vowing to mass produce their dangerous new missile. Images of the experimental missile with multiple warheads striking the eastern city of Dnipro yesterday. Russia says it can carry nuclear weapons. Vladimir Putin saying the launch was retaliation for Ukraine's use of American and British long-range missiles fired into Russia. When we come back tonight, Sean Diddy Combs returns to court for his 4th attempt at bail in his sex trafficking case. And a new human case of bird flu now being reported, the first confirmed case in an American child. Tonight, Sean Diddy Combs pushing for bail in his sex trafficking case here in New York. Combs facing his 4th different judge asking to be released on $50 million bond. 3 previous judges denied bail, calling him a flight risk, a danger to the community, and citing concerns of possible witness tampering. The latest judge saying he will have his decision next week. When we come back, the first confirmed case of bird flu in a child here in the U.S. and the story of a postal worker who jumped to the rescue. To the index now, the CDC confirming the first human case of bird flu in a child here in the U.S. Health officials say the infected child lives in Alameda County, California. The child is being treated for mild symptoms. There's no evidence of person-to-person spread, and they're still trying to figure out how the child was infected. Health officials say the risk to the public remains low. And a nationwide egg shortage may be linked to bird flu. Heading into the holiday season, the Department of Agriculture expects cases will keep hurting the egg supply and raising prices into next year. The average price for a dozen eggs is now $3.37. That's up 30% from last year. When we come back, the postal worker to the rescue, a grateful family, and a Thanksgiving invitation. Finally tonight, the postal worker to the rescue and the family with a chance to say thank you on Thanksgiving. America strong.
Tonight in Aurora, Illinois, an incredible act of kindness by this mail carrier. Guy Miller was walking his dog Bentley when he suddenly lost his footing and fell, hitting his head hard. He started bleeding. That's when that mail carrier, Jalen Lockhart, who saw a guy fall in his rearview mirror, did not hesitate, springing into action, helping Guy stop the bleeding, calling over neighbors to assist, asking Guy where he lives, and then alerting his family. Their Ring camera capturing the whole thing.
Hello, post office.
Guy's wife, Marcia, answering the door.
Is there an older gentleman out that lives here? Yes. He fell down the road there.
Jalen was filling in for another mail carrier, so he didn't know the Millers. Joining us tonight, Guy and Marcia Miller.
So thankful for all that he did. It could have been so much worse if Jalen hadn't stopped. So we just want to say thank you.
Jalen, the mail carrier, with us too.
When I saw a guy take a tumble, I wasn't sure exactly what I was getting myself into, but I did know that whatever he was going through on that ground, we were going to go through it together.
The Millers have asked Jalen and his family to join them for Thanksgiving next week. Tonight, both families grateful.
We've become family, and that's what it should be, right? We love you, Jalen. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
A special Thanksgiving for sure. Thank you so much for watching tonight. And a reminder, a brand new 2020 airs tonight at 9 Eastern. I'm Whit Johnson. Have a great night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.